I bought a C8 Z06, and after much consideration, possibly tempted by Porsche to go down that route again. And I must say that at nearly 4 months of ownership, this is definitely proving to be probably one of the greatest car purchase decisions I've made in my entire life. And I want to share that with you guys. What's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been here before, if you haven't, then this is your first time here. So, what's up? I'm Kevin. This is my C8 Z06. It's a 2023 hypersonic gray metallic. It's got about 16,000 miles on it now, and we're coming up on 4 months of ownership. And I am soon going to take it in to get the transmission canister work done. And that is pretty much it. This car is an absolute blast. It's an absolute joy. And even though I got rid of my Porsche Macan GTS after owning that for probably 3 years or more, maybe 4, I can't remember. I drove it completely out of its CPO warranty and then put another warranty on top of it. I drove it for quite a while, so I'd say about 3 years, at least 3 years. And that car brought me so much joy that I was afraid to get rid of it. This car here brings me equally as much, if not more, maybe. There's only one reason why it doesn't, and I'll explain that to you guys here in a minute. Think about it, 4 months. You know, the newness technically by now should have worn off. And it is just as much fun. It is just as great to come out here and see it. If I come out to my garage fridge or whatever, it is just as much fun to start it up, to drive it, to enjoy it, to talk to strangers about it, ironically, I've talked to a lot of strangers about this car while driving it. You guys have seen it on videos, talking to the lady at the toll booth, and so on and so forth. I don't think I've run into any other C8 owner yet to talk to. But sure enough, I'm sure it will happen eventually. And I would be willing to bet that at least if they have a Z06, they probably are going to share the same joy that I have. Maybe. I mean, I still think a Stingray is cool, and I wouldn't mind having one. They are unique in their own way. The sound of the V8s are different and still great. Yeah, honestly, I think I would have wanted to get a Stingray before a ZR1, only because I don't know. I'm not super interested in a twin turbo flat plane crank. I love the way that this flat plane crank behaves and screams, and it is amazing. It is awesome. And the only reason why I would give any concession to this not being just hands down the best car ever is because I can't drive it all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but the Porsche Macan was so versatile, and it had a back seat, it had a hatch, had everything. And as a family man, sometimes you need more than 2 seats. So that's the only drawback. That's the only negative. If they could produce this car in like a Koenigsegg style with a back seat, or even put the flat plane crank and this DCT in some sedan, or maybe even a crossover, I mean, I think that would be okay too. But I'm very, very happy. I'm very pleased with my purchase. We will actually be up on like 4 months in 2 days. So that'll be Saturday, I think. And maybe I'll do a 4-month review. I've got some other videos in the works. One that I'm putting together that I'm debating on. I'm on the fence on whether or not I'm going to release it or not, because I think it's extremely controversial. And I'm not sure if I want to put myself or you guys through that. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come out. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'll put it up for members. I don't have members on this channel yet, but maybe in the future I could. And that's where I can put videos like that, where I know if you're a member, it probably won't rub you the wrong way. Maybe that's a consideration for the future. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Porsche, sort of. let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Chevrolet first, okay? Now, I haven't done a lot of research recently on Mary Barra. I'm pretty sure it's Mary Barra, CEO of GM, right? But I know, she was making some headlines a few months ago. Maybe she still is now. I just haven't kept up with it. I'm not going to sit here and read the news to you guys. I'm just going to give you my take, my thoughts, my opinion on the current situation. This car has a recall because it could catch on fire. Why? Pretty simple, pretty easy to explain. It's because if you pour gasoline on this car and you ignite it, gasoline is flammable. I think that pretty much boils it down like as simply and as easily as I can explain it. Now, I do have issues with people who smoke cigarettes at gas stations. Even though they will swear up and down that it won't start a fire, I just think that it's an unnecessary risk and hazard that none of us should be taking. So it's not actually the liquid gasoline that's the problem. It is the vapor from the gasoline, apparently, that gets vaporized by the radiator fans and then can be ignited by, I think, catalytic converter or something. I don't know. I don't remember it exactly, but that's what it's boiling down to. There's a recall so that the spilled fuel can be diverted and prevent this from happening. I don't know how GM's going to pull it off. I don't know what that fix is going to look like or what the labor is going to be involved to make it happen. And depending on that, whether or not I even go through with it. But basically the way it boils down is don't overfill your car with fuel and you probably won't have a problem. You probably won't have an issue. I'm not going to say go as far as never put more than 10 gallons of gasoline in your car at one time. But, if you're consistently going to Mexico and you need the weight savings, then who am I to say whatever? I don't give a shit. But the crazy part about it is this is a tremendous recall and stop sale, if you ask me. I think that this is huge. This is big. Like so big that it only took 4 instances, 2 of which were, I think, a pump failure, and the other 2 were probably user error. 4 C8 Z06s and or ZR1s caught on fire, and GM says, we're done. That's pretty strong if you ask me. I mean, think about how many fucking V8s have blown up and Suburbans and Tahoes and shit like that. And, how many brake failures they've had on some of their other vehicles and all sorts of shit where they're just like, keep driving it. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it later. So there's that. I guess we're taking a little bit of an 8-mile approach here by we're going to go ahead and just put out whatever it is that the opposition, the C8 Z06 haters will want to say about this before I get into the meat and potatoes of this. And I even saw one, I don't know, I'll save that for another video. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I'm actually running out of time because, as you can tell, I am looking very dapper today, and my wife and I are about to go out on a date. We're going to dinner with Teddy from Moss. And so let's talk about Porsche. Let's address some of the rumors. And yeah, I know. I wear a Porsche hat. I really like it. I considered buying another Porsche. I considered buying a 911. I considered buying a Taycan. I considered buying I never considered buying the new Macan, but I considered buying a Panamera The seats in the Panamera are pretty freaking sick. I considered buying a GTS, a 718 GTS 4-liter. And I really got to say that my heart would really be in a GTS 4-liter or GT4 more than a 911. It just would be. And I even considered buying a Spider, a 718 Spider, but that was actually to help a friend out because they needed to sell it. And I was just going to buy it just so that they didn't have to make the payment. But those were considerations. I will say, had Porsche treated me better as a fan, as a customer, I probably would have one in my garage. I probably would. I probably would have never gotten to the point where I even considered test driving one of these to then learn and find out that this is the better car. This is the better car, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is the better car. No one can argue that. No one can argue that. And if you try, well, it's my comment section. So anyway, Porsche treated me poorly as a customer, as a fan. Why? Because Porsche is greedy. Because Porsche got out over their skis. Because Porsche apparently fucked up. And they were trying to be more than they really should have ever been. And the proof is undeniable. Like I said, I haven't done a lot of research on GM's CEO, but I did just read an article about Porsche's CEO, which ironically is also the same CEO for Volkswagen. And I got to tell you guys right now, I don't see how you can try and manage Porsche and VW at the same time. They're two different business models. They're two different thought processes. They're two different customers, target market. Like everything is different. And that's really hurt Porsche. It's really hurt Porsche so much that their stock value has dropped 45%. 45%. That means Porsche was overvalued. Much like their cars. Much like a 911 where I had an opportunity for an allocation without any additional dealer markup and my base price was like $165,000. That's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. Let alone I was able to buy this. It's cooler. It's faster. It turns more heads. It does more things. I can take the roof off. You know how much it would cost you to take a roof off of a fucking Porsche? It's cheaper to maintain. Did I say it's faster? Oh, it sounds better. The DCT is not a PDK, but it's pretty freaking good. I got no issues, no complaints. Yeah, sure, my car could catch on fire. Yeah, sure, my center console button sticks sometimes when I go to open it. Yeah, I mean, I got, that's all I got for you. That's all I got for you. I'm pretty sure I could find a list of known Porsche problems and recall items, and even some people complaining that Porsche PDKs are prone to failure and they're god-awful expensive to replace. But the numbers don't lie. The market is never wrong. And to see Porsche's price plummet, stock price plummet, should, in theory, lead to a Porsche car price plummet, which they can't now, unfortunately, because they would be deeply in the red. Their profit margin is razor thin. They're getting pants down fucked by the China market. The US market doesn't want their EV bullshit. And they're in quite a predicament. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Oh, what else? What else is it? They're going to get rid of the CEO. They're going to get rid of the CEO. They have to. They have to. They have no other choice. And they have to do it delicately. They have to do it delicately as to not upset the apple cart, I think is the term that we use here. But Yeah, I think Porsche got ahead of themselves. Their idea of the road to 20 with a 20% gross profit margin was a little bit ambitious, and it's all backfiring pretty badly. Sure, no car, no manufacturer is perfect, but I'd much rather be in this boat than in the Porsche boat, realizing that the stock price is about to drop. Um, you know, I'm gonna forego any reference of a prom date joke here, but if I was a Porsche owner, shareholder, I would be very, very concerned about that and the future of the brand, the future of the stock, the future in general. Where when it comes to this, the future looks bright. The future looks bright, and we have a minor recall item that affected 4 vehicles to correct. But besides that, we're breaking Nürburgring lap records. You know, um, and I think what is it? What they revealed in Monterey for Quail was encouraging for the future. If this is what we got for a C8, can you imagine what we're going to get for a C9? Can you imagine what we're going to get for a C10? There was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember it now off the top of my head. But if it comes back to me, I'll put it in the next video.